And do you mind briefly introducing yourself?
Well, let's see. I'm Ann Foltz. I was born in Virginia, and I actually am fortunate enough to have the old farmhouse in which I was born out in the Shenandoah Valley. I've had a condo here in Arlington for 28 years, and I've had opportunity to travel all over the world. I haven't been to Antarctica yet. I don't have that on my list. I don't think I'm going to Antarctica. But I've had 3 trips to China. I've been around the world 2 or 3 times. I've lived in Africa. I've lived in Europe. I have friends all over the world. When I open my email, I can have emails from somebody in Norway and Germany and Africa and Sri Lanka and China and wherever. So I've had a wonderful life, absolutely wonderful life.
Is there anything that you wish your generation or even you personally did differently for the world?
Well, I think we've got a late start because of all the technology that's been developed during the last 50 to 70 years, and the fact that it was ignored for a very long time, I think. But I probably have a different perspective because of living overseas since, well, I was first over there in 1963, and have been in touch with the outside U.S. world since that time. So that may be why I feel that way.
What do you think your generation's greatest accomplishment was?
The greatest accomplishment is going into outer space. I've always been interested in space, and I still would like a trip into space. But that may not happen because my body may not take the G's when it finally becomes available. But I'm very excited about this new telescope on the Hubble and what that may show us in the years to come. It's already shown us a great deal, and that I think is very exciting.
What do you think the current generation of young people is doing right, and what are they doing wrong?
Well, I think they've made great strides in getting the ecology into schools, and they are learning much more about their environment, and the fact that more and more of them are interested in what is happening around them, and they are also encouraging their parents and grandparents to recycle, to begin to think about all these things that they've bought and are throwing away, and that someday all these things are going to pile up in front of us. And I'm very encouraged with what young people are doing, both in school and outside of school in the community.
What advice would you give to the current generation of young people and future generation?
To continue in this role and to be as active as possible because of all of the technology that you have now. That you've got the internet, you've got your iPhones, you've got your computers that can do wonderful things. There's no way that you can maximize everything a computer can do. And you've got your blogs, you've got your websites. I could go on on all this technology that you have at your fingertips that we certainly didn't have in my generation or in my children's generation.
What has been your most memorable experience while traveling?
Well, I've just had an exciting week because when I was in Ethiopia, well, I've always hiked and climbed mountains and all of that, and I had the opportunity to go up to northern Ethiopia and spend some time in the Simeon Mountains outside of Mekelle. And while we were hiking up there, we noticed some fossilized shells on the ground. And I picked up 2 of those and put them in my pocket and brought them back with me from Ethiopia. And I have just had them down at the Smithsonian. And I have them back, and I'm going to show them to you after this. And they have told me that they are over 150 million years old. So they were 8,000 feet up in the mountains. And what was exciting when we found them was we were trying to think about how could they have gotten up there from the ocean, which is on the east side of Africa, as you know. And we figured they might have been washed up there at the time of the flood, or they may have been thrown up there at the time that the Rift Valley was formed, when the plates crossed each other and formed that big Rift Valley that runs all the way down East Africa.